hello, and welcome to Roland's Reviews. If you will, do me one small favor. If you would hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate that. And hopefully, we can trigger the YouTube algorithm and possibly share this video out with many more people than usual. If you were not here on Saturday, we had an excellent live stream. The video is doing well. Okay, so make sure you check that out. I will do the um, roll call momentarily. I'm just waiting for a few more people to drop in the chat. All right. And as we're waiting to do the roll call, please let me know what your thoughts are in reference to this particular subject matter. Now, unless you've been living up under a rock, you can't escape it. It is literally everywhere. Okay, so tell me what your thoughts are. What do you think? I'm going to share some clips with you, and then I want your take on it, as usual, right? All right. Okay. Let me see. I'm just sharing a few things, few items here. Okay. All right. Roll call time. All right, here we go. All right, now I can see, let me see where we are here. Okay, all right, it's popping up now. There we go. I was trying to get the chat to appear. All right, and I now have it. Diane, how are you doing? All right, so Diane is here. Lisa's here. How you doing, love? Florida's busy. She's doing her yard work. Florida, I did mine on Saturday. I'm too tired to do any today. So there you go. Tijuana Border Jumper, how are you doing, dear? Chubbs, thank you for your service, sir. How are you doing today? Lisa said, grateful there's a chat today, had hip replacement last Tuesday. Oh, ouch. Woo. Oh my goodness. Let's all say a quick prayer for Lisa. Lisa, that sounds kind of painful, love. We hope that you are doing an excellent job at recuperating. All right. That sounds a little bit painful. Okay. Where are we here? Chris, how you doing, dear? Still doing yard work, never. Chris, come help me. I need to be out there still working. Chris, I can't. I give up. All right. I can't. Um, it's just a lot. And I have to go back to work tomorrow. So guess what? I need a break. I definitely need a break. Um, so yeah. If you are here, you're just entering the chat. If you will, again, hit that little thumb. That's the like button. If you cannot find it, let me know, because some people have problems finding it. I will do my best to help you. All right, now look at the title and tell me what your thoughts are. And I am preparing the video for you now so that you can check it out and give me your take. And I'm sure you've heard about it. And again, unless you've been up under a rock, the Hood Assassin, how are you? Dr. Marilyn, how are you? The Hood Assassin says, what makes me angry about the Shannon Sharpe incident, nobody seems to focus on the fact he was a violent man. They seemed to only focus on the fact he was a grown man who chose a younger woman. Okay, so Hood Assassin, you're absolutely right, but we know um, in America, if you are an athlete and you have exceptional skills, they look over a lot because you can bounce that basketball or because you can run up and down that field with that football. It is what it is. I'm not saying it's right, but hey, that's how it goes. So, Shannon Sharpe's 30-year history of violence against women. And then I'm going to play the little secret audio for you. And again, now, people who watch football, this is nothing new to you. All right. Um, as Hood Assassin just shared with us, this is nothing new to see here. Coffee Grinder, how are you doing, dear? Coffee Grinder's here. Team Hazard, yes. How are you? So I want everyone to share your thoughts. Again, one thing about this channel, everyone is allowed to share their thought process. Now, if you were not here for Saturday's video, OMG, I don't want to say that they were trolls, but people were reading the label and coming in and saying horrible things. I mean, using profanity, with the whole Shador Sanders situation. It wasn't racism and you're crazy. I mean, they just went off their rockers. They did not come in and listen to what we were agreeing that it was not racism. There were underlying factors. Thank you so much, Team Hazard. But people just came in and they were just lambasting me and a few people. We had to hide their statements. They were using profanity. It was terrible. Tina, is he 59 years old? And she was 19 when they started dating. And so, you know how these millionaire athletes are. Now, he had been warned. How many of you are familiar with the biblical saying, pride comes before the fall? There were two people, maybe even more, but two who warned him. He has a little podcast called Club Shay Shay. And Monique, she's a comedian, and she has a vulgar mouth, but she warned him when she was a guest on his show. And then Cat Williams, the comedian, hilarious. Two comedians warned him. He ignored them both. How you doing, Trish? Partner, how you doing? Fine and swine. Glad you're here. Dr. Marilyn, I posted on my Facebook page, what is the difference between a 16-year-old girl and a 19-year-old girl? Dr. Marilyn, what were the responses that you received? Baldwin Birds, how are you doing? Tijuana, his parents were probably abusive. Hood Assassin, from what I know about his childhood, he was raised by his grandmother. So I don't know what happened so far as his parents were concerned, but he was raised by his grandmother. So something happened to his parents. What, I do not know. Sounds like to me he was going through male menopause. Tina, and not to be sexist, but a lot of men, when they get older, not all, please don't attack me in the comment section, but many men, when they, get older, they start to feel a little self-conscious, and it makes them feel good if they can find someone younger. But in today's day, in the age of social media, you can't do that. I think she was one of those fans only models. She was a fan. I think she was a fans only model, whatever. Some of this stuff, most of you probably like myself, you've heard of it, but you really don't know all of the little delicate intricacies. Dr. Marilyn said no response other than legal. Right. So I'm going to share this. Now, one thing I love about this, right, Lisa? That's what he was doing. One thing about Shannon Sharpe, how many of you know this before I even mention it? He's one of the race hustlers, one of the race baiters from ESPN. And so even before this happened, I didn't care for him because he makes everything about race. And this happened to this black athlete. It's because he's black. Nothing to do, nothing is said about, the actions, what that person, was involved in. It was, he's a race baiter and a race hustler. But again, on ESPN, guess what? Like the Geico commercial that says, that's what we do. That's what they do on ESPN. Hood assassin. He knew what he was doing exactly. Chubbs, been married to the love of my life 36 years. A younger woman could never take her place in my heart. Chubbs, talk to these younger people. And this guy, Shannon Sharpe, is about 60. Just say he's 60 years old, round it off. And you were played by a 20-year-old. Sorry, not sorry. You may be intelligent. You may know how to run that ball up and down that football field, but you're really stupid. And again, the name of his or her show is Suspect. Shay. It should be Shanae. Tijuana. That's what I'm saying. Tijuana. Okay, since you said that, I wasn't going to go there, but since you said that, I know you are aware. Do you remember the pictures of Shannon in the airport walking with a little dog, and he had like a little mail pocketbook, and he was at basketball games with someone in the LGBTQ community, and people were like, what is he doing? So I don't know if he's trying to remain relevant. I don't know. And he was his big old, you see, he's a big muscular guy. He's in the airport, but just a little tiny dog that you see rich women with. So, and carrying a pocketbook. Tijuana, yes. Tijuana. Thank you. So he probably his insecurity, like he doesn't want to accept who he is. Chubbs, I've been trying, Miss Rowland. They just don't listen. Like it was when older people would talk to okay, Chubbs. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That man, sorry. Hood assassin. I'm 52, by the way. Batman probably had a history of violence to be. Yeah, I will share that with you. You're absolutely right. Tina, that young girl was a gold digger. But Tijuana, I feel that's so much. But how can someone do this to you if you're not, if you're 60 years old? What they say, that saying, there's no fool like an old fool. You're 60 years old. And even if you hear her voice, she sounds like a small child. So, sometimes people want to deal with someone younger, because they're not as savvy mentally. I'll put it like that. William, he made it to the top and got a media job, which is hard to do in this day and age. Even Tom Brady got into media. He blew it. ESPN, Disney won't touch him. Well, yeah. Well, he had to step away from ESPN. You know how Disney is. So she played him like a fiddle. Yes. So let me play this first clip. Let me play this first clip for you.
The very latest on the rape allegations against Shannon Sharpe. More potentially damning audio between the accuser and the Pro Football Hall of Famer is coming your way next on TMZ Sports.
All right, let me get rid of this. And of course, now I told you on ESPN, everything was, he's a race hustler. He's a, how you doing, lovely Apple? Okay, Lisa. Okay, Lisa. Hey, I don't know what he's doing, but when you have that kind of money, people don't care. They just want the dollars. So this guy was always, if you remember, I'm old enough to remember when Colin Kaepernick was out there kneeling during the national anthem. And him and the other race hustlers at ESPN, I think you know whose side they were on. Tina said race has nothing to do with no, it's stupidity. Lovely Apple, Stephen Smith. Stephen Smith is a grifter. He said a lot, Lovely Apple. So what are you talking about? Chubbs, yeah, not all, but many do. Here we go.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike, Mojo, and Edward here. Guys, we told you yesterday that NFL Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe is being sued by a woman that he at one time had a sexual relationship with. It's an explosive lawsuit where the football great is accused of raping this woman on multiple occasions. Now, yesterday we played for you an exclusive audio clip, a phone conversation that Shannon and his accuser had. And now today we've gotten our hands on a new audio clip where Shannon once again seems to physically threaten the woman. Take a listen.
Coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
So listen to her. She sounds like she's in a special class or something. I'm just saying. She talks slow. She doesn't sound too bright to me, but she was smart enough. Now, those that don't know, there is some smoke there because he offered her 10 million. And then her lawyer said, no, we want 50. But he did offer, if she had just taken the 10 million, Lisa. Okay, Lisa, I'm just saying, you said it, I didn't. But listening to her talk, I'm like, she doesn't sound like she's all there. Listen to this.
Don't worry about it, Daddy.
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy choke small white woman.
It's not a good look.
You hear how slow she talks? Thank you, lovely. I'm just saying. It sounds like she's in a special class. I'm just saying. Listening to her talk, she doesn't sound like she's working with a full deck. Chubbs, I believe both are smoking the weed. Yes, Lovely Apple. He's going down in disgrace, and I think it's going to be many others in NFL baseball sport. Yeah, Lovely Apple. Lovely Apple, white men don't like how this black guy disgraced them. So what did he do? Well, Lovely Apple. He's a race. Shannon Sharpe has been a race hustler and a race back. Him and that Stephen A. Smith. Anything that someone says or does to a black person, it's all race. How many of you watched the show? Because remember, he had the show with Skip Bayless. They had the rapper Lil Wayne. They call him Wheezy. Lil Wayne is good friends with Skip Bayless. And they were asked, this was during the George Floyd riots and people were in the streets marching. And they asked him, what he thought about Black Lives Matter. And him being a rapper, I guess most people thought he was going to say, yeah, Black Lives. He was like, no. And he told them, no, I don't support Black Lives Matter. Plenty of white people. I have more white people listening to my music than black. And he said, and Lil Wayne said this, look it up. He said, I haven't experienced any racism. Oh, that almost shut down the internet. What? A black male in America? And so, again, and Shannon's a loudmouth. And he went off. Tina, I did not know she was white. I was only guessing. Yeah, okay, Tina. Yeah, she is. True, he was, but white men were never. Lovely Apple, she's gonna have so many millions of dollars. She doesn't care. Lovely Apple, she again now, and then he's playing the victim, right? Oh, it's not. It's her lawyer. He says her lawyer is after him. So victimhood is real. She's a white girl, 90 pounds, a lot of. Lisa, yeah, she's young. They started dating. She was 19. His daughter is older than this girl. So why are you dating someone this young? And she sounds slow, but she has millions. She's gonna have generational wealth. She played him, as Tina said. All right, I'll continue.
Shannon.
Not a good look that you do what you did to me.
So yeah, as the accuser says in the clip, it's not a great look for Shannon. But according to Shannon's legal team, this is essentially how Shannon and his accuser talked. They sent out roughly, it's got to be close to 1,000 text messages on Tuesday that they say were sent from the accuser to Shannon. And in multiple of them, specifically one instance in general from October of 2023, the woman asked Shannon to be choked. In one specifically, she says, put a dog collar around my neck and choke me as we're engaging in intercourse. So Shannon's side of this is saying that merely this is the role and the nature of the conversations that these two had. They're saying that there was no sort of violent intentions, and merely this is what this woman asked for repeatedly, and that's why Shannon is seen and I guess heard using this language multiple times. So
you see they're saying that this is how they operate. How you doing, Kelly? Thank you, lovely. Thank you, lovely. Let me read what Lovely said. Lil Wayne was rescued by a white guy after he was shot in the chest and was rushed to the hospital by that white guy who saved his life. Lovely Apple. The race, all of these race hustlers and race baiters, they can't stand Lil Wayne. He wants nothing. He called Black Lives Matter out for what they truly are and what they were. And he would not, oh my God, no, he was like, no, more white people listening to my music than black. And Lil Wayne said, I have not experienced any racism. Now, Lil Wayne, a black rapper, said that. And they lost it. They could not. Tina said his career is over. His life is over. Kelly, this was the dumbest move. I absolutely believe this woman is setting him. Oh, Kelly, she got him. Hook, line, and sinker. Chubb said, if someone offers me 10 million, I'm going to have a bigger smile than Texas. Oh, yeah. The white guy who saved him was a cop. Right, Trish? So when you go to Lil Wayne, a black rapper, when you go to him talking about, white supremacy and racism, he shuts them down every time. That's why they cannot stand Lil Wayne. And like I said, I give it to Lil Wayne. He's friends with Skip Bayless now. You need to check out yesterday's video. Skip Bayless was the one calling out the NFL and how racist they are because they didn't draft Shedeur Sanders in the first round. So yeah, let me finish this.
That's, I guess, where they're standing. I think the other criticism from Sharpe's camp towards Busby is, why was this being recorded? They would like to know why was she doing that? Because then they believe that plays into their narrative that she perhaps was setting up some kind of blackmail scheme against him.
But how can someone set you up if you aren't dealing with low character, low moral people? And like I said, I'm going to play the clip from the comedian, what's her name? Monique, who warned him to get him an older woman. He like, no. So I guess he loves giving away millions of dollars. The lawyer wants 50 million. She'll get 33. He'll get 33. How you doing, Josie? All right, here we go.
And was recording him in situations where he didn't know he was being recorded. So
those of you who don't know, let me go ahead and explain this. Now a feature on just about every smartphone, just so you know, so you don't get caught up in case you're involved in some nefarious activities. When you're talking to someone, they may not tell you, but now there's a feature where you can record the entire conversation. If you were not aware of that, please type one in the comment section. And that I've noticed that feature I have an iPhone. I noticed that feature, it became available with the last update. So nothing I requested, but it's there. So folks, be careful with what you say. Kelly, you knew about it already? Okay. But yeah, your entire conversation, and they won't tell you. So, but again, if you weren't out here dating this young girl, Kelly, yes, if I'll show you where it's located. 30 years ago, I was the stud in the pasture. Now, I'm the old mule, just glad to be alive. Chubbs. Yes, Mr. X. She wants 50 mil. Well, and of course he's saying he was set up. Hey, this is someone you chose. That's your fault.
It's so much he said, she said.
Yeah.
She's alleging that this crossed the line. He's alleging it didn't, and this was part of their nature. So we are at this point where everything somebody releases, the other side says, well, no, this is the way we see it. So I don't know where it goes from.
I know, and I think it's so hard, Ed, because you listen to it, and if you're listening to the way that the accuser has framed it, you say, okay, well, there he is. He's threatening to choke her. But then when you hear Shannon's attorney describe the nature of their relationship, if that's the way it actually was, then you say, okay, yeah, that might actually make sense too. I think, and you referenced those text messages, Ed, and Edward's absolutely right. I mean, just one of these documents that we got our hands on was 575 pages of text. So they have thousands of text messages. But in one of the instances, Ed, and tell me if I'm wrong here, because Edwards has been on top of this case the entire time, but there was a point in January where the accuser had alleged that Shannon did rape her. And one of the text messages seems to show, and we'll put part of it on the screen here, where she said to him, I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon.
So she typed it. She knew what she set him up. You are 60 years old and you were played like a fiddle. Kelly said, women like her make women like myself angry. It's a horrible look. And she knew what she was signing up for. Kelly, I can't argue with that. Right, Lisa? Lisa said, where's her family? Her family's waiting in line with her because she's getting ready to get paid. Very handsomely.
And it doesn't frankly matter how adventurous or freaky, whatever the word you want to use is for their sexual relationship. That does not give anybody a pass to then do whatever they want to do going forward. She always, as does Shannon, they always have the prerogative to say, hey, no, I don't consent to this right now. And it doesn't matter what happened in the past. So again, I think that message there could really prove to be crucial to her case, because she did seem to tell him, hey, Shannon, no, I had a problem with what just happened.
Yeah, and I mean, more of this is just coming to light by the day. I mean, we definitely have a he said, she said kind of situation.
Okay, those that don't know, in the picture there with Shay, Stephen A. Smith, another race baiter, another race hustler. All right, just so you know, he's another loudmouth from ESPN who is also woke.
And I think it's probably going to be really easy for, maybe either party to highlight parts of the conversation to really delineate one side of this case very clearly. The frequency is something to take note. The fact that this is a relationship.
Oh, how you doing, Ro? Ro said, you wish you had Shannon, Roland. Maybe the money. I don't know if I want to be choked, Ro. Oh my God. Hit that like button for me, folks. This is hilarious.
That has gone on for a long time. And after some of these text messages and phone calls, the conversations and the relationship continues. So of course, Shannon's going to have that on his side. But man, when you pull out some of these isolated clips, it certainly works against him for sure. I mean, either way. And I mean, this isn't something that would necessarily hold in court if he's proven to be innocent. But man, when you're a star at that level, you just got to be on the lookout for this kind of thing. I mean, I know everyone has the things that they look for in their own private lives, but when you are someone that is that big of a name with that much money, it sucks, but you have to just assume that you're always going to have a target on your back, that you're always going to be filmed and photographed anytime you're out in public, anytime you're on the phone, anytime you're sending a text, because, regardless of how this situation plays out, in the end. I mean, this is evidence of that right there.
Yeah, Mojo, he is as great of a football player as Shannon Sharpe was. I mean, he's had equally as great a career in the media, and he's got a lot of things, big things going for him right now. And you hear earlier Stephen A. Smith on Stephen's podcast say that, hey, I've spoken to the powers that be at ESPN and ABC, and that everything is on the table, meaning that it's very possible that Shannon Sharpe might not have his TV job. Then you
And those that don't know, he was getting ready to sign a deal worth $100 million when this story broke. So now, hey, all of that may be out the window. Kelly, there was a Wisconsin Badger player here that was set up in a different way, accused of SA. Thank God he saved the text messages, but it still ruined his career and they got no charges for lying. Yeah, Kelly, you try to tell these men that even when they're younger, and it's so sad, but I'm just thinking, you're 60 guy, you are 60 years old, and you got played by essentially a child. She's 20 years old, 19, 20. She was 19 when the relationship started. Kelly, they found him not guilty, but meanwhile, they pulled him off the football team. Took him forever to be able to get back on the team. And where is it? And he'll never have an NFL career. Yeah, some of these women, they ruin their careers. William, yeah, comedian Jim Carrey was blackmailed and accused of having an STD. He fought it. Yeah, William. I remember they did that to Jim Carrey. The comedian, some woman said he gave her an STD. I remember that. Probably Tina. Deshaun Watson. Yeah, so these guys, they never learn.
You also look at the podcast and some of the numbers that were being thrown around, upwards of $100 million potential contract. And you wonder to yourself now, hey, what happens to that deal? Is that still exists for him? So, I mean, this is potentially devastating to Shannon Sharpe's career. This thing is nowhere near over. Like we've said, it is moving fast and furiously. Stay tuned on this one.
All right. What are your thoughts, folks? We're done with that. And it happens so often. You would think. Oh, my God. It happens so often. And then again, you know how it is. It's like a Pandora's box. Once one person comes out and says it, guess what? Just around the corner, here's some more people. And who knows? The other people may not be telling the truth, but hey, where there's smoke, there's fire. Who knows? So you've got to be smarter than this. And let me see, where are we here? And I'll actually show you, and I'm going to show you a clip. Again, Shannon Sharpe has been a race hustler and a race baiter for years. So even before this happened, I wasn't very fond of him. I mean, he's fine, but like I said, he turns everything into a race issue as it relates to, professional athletes. Well, this white athlete got away there, but then look at what they're doing to the black. Everything is black and white. Everything is racial, and it's sickening. All right, let me share this with you. So again, he has a history that goes back to 1994. I'll play some of it. I've actually shared it already in the description box, so you can go listen to it in its entirety. Okay. Hit that like button for me, please, folks. Yes, Mr. X, Tijuana border jumper. So mine is 10 years, makes her 9 when he's 50. No, Tijuana. Oh my God. Yeah. Oof. What a hot, stinking mess. All right. Let me turn the volume up on this. Tina, you know it. But he's out here playing the victim. Oh, this is her what's his name? BuzzFeed, the attorney, because there was another athlete. And then they're also there are plenty of videos here on YouTube. They're saying that Shaq, you know, the former basketball star, Shaq set him up. So, oh my God, it's a mess. All right, so let's listen to some of this.
Here's the caveat for me. Guess what most of the cases involved? You got it, domestic violence. His thing seems to be choking women. You know, for those of you like me who've worked with violent people or worked with those who were victims of violence, you know that when men are violent towards women, they have a certain penchant. Like there's one thing that they always do to every woman. Some men it's slapping, some men it's punching, some men it's strangling. For him, it's choking. It's like choking them. So with some of these women, he choked them. So he's been choking folks since the 90s, y'all. But, you know, he didn't learn. So a few years later in 1997, y'all, Shannon was arrested for hitting a girlfriend. He still didn't learn. Just a few years later, in 2004, he was charged with misdemeanor battery. Why? For beating up a girlfriend. He still didn't learn. A few years later, in 2010, this is when he was working at CBS's NFL Today. A lot of you have heard about this. He had to temporarily step away because he was charged with sexual assault. And that was the Michelle Bundy case. She now goes by Michelle Bundy Evans. But she also said the same thing. He choked, forced himself on her, raped her anally, the whole 9 yards, the same kind of stuff we're seeing now. And we've also learned about a new situation. This actually came to light yesterday. A lot of you heard about this.
Kelly, yes, I will share a video with you. Kelly, so before he got his own podcast, Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharpe had a podcast with Skip Bayless, right? And Kelly, you need to watch the video from Saturday. The video I did on Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is white, but he's another race hustler and race baiter. Anytime something happens to a black athlete, oh, this is racist. Yeah. So yes, Kelly, I'll tell you about his history. Yes, Kelly. And then Shannon gets mad and angry at people who won't agree when he's calling something racist. He was screaming at Lil Wayne when Lil Wayne was like, I'm a black man and I haven't experienced any racism and I don't support Black Lives Matter. Most of my audience, people who buy my music, are white. All right, here we go. Right, Tina.
We don't know specifically the date that this happened. All we know is it happened between 2016 and 2024, because that's when he was working at Fox FS1s. I have.
Now, those that don't know, I don't know what the heck is going on at FX1, Fox Sports. They have a lot of freaky stuff going on over there because Skip Bayless was sued, and then, you know, the Joy Taylor. They have some crazy stuff going on over there. What the heck? What's the name of that song from the 80s? I'll be your freakazoid. Come on and wind me up. I think that was Midnight stuff. So I don't know what's going on over there. Kelly, yeah, I can show you, Kelly. He's a mess.
Have a difficult time saying all that. FS1's undisputed. He choked. Y'all heard about it. One of the production assistants at work. You know, that's what got me. I thought, now, wait a minute. He didn't choke her at Vaughn's. He didn't roll up on her at the Walmart. You mean to tell me your anger and rage is that out of control that you choked somebody at your job? And guess what? They kept him and they covered for him. All these years, we had never heard of this. So there are other cases, I suppose, that either are sealed or have been expunged. And trust me, there are some really great investigators that work for TMZ.
Right, Lisa. Lisa said he's a poor excuse for a man. And you know what? What happens especially prior to social media really blowing up and becoming popular. Oh, Kelly, yes, I'll drop the link for you, dear. That the main person I was talking about in Saturday's video was Skip Bayless. He's on the thumbnail. He was Shannon Sharpe's partner, and they were both race hustlers and race baiters. Bootsy, okay, William, how you doing, Sergeant? Thank you for your service, sir. Chubbs, thank you for your service, sir. So what has happened in the past? Hey, here's some money. We don't hear anything about it. He offered this girl $10 million. I'm like, Chubbs, I just would have said, okay. No, her attorney said, no, we want 50 million. That's when everything was released. All right, here we go.
And the Daily Mail, they're going to uncover everything that they can. And not to mention the vultures are already starting to swirl. So it's about to get really ugly and really embarrassing. But now let's go to that disturbing information I told you guys about.
All right, let me get rid of the commercial. Yeah, Kelly, I'll drop that link for you right now, dear, for tomorrow from Saturday.
Put my glasses down. If you are a young person, now for me, I consider a young person 18 to 35. Now somebody else listening may consider 35 ain't young, but I'm not here to debate all that. I'm just telling you, for me, sir, for me, ma'am, 18 to 35, I have a lot of grace and mercy for such people because, yeah, it's hard out there for these young folks. I want to explain something to you that I saw on social media. I don't want you to misunderstand and get the wrong idea about this stuff. Okay, so now that Shannon has been caught, exposed, and fired, because he has been fired, I know what he's saying, but he's been fired. He ain't coming back. I've been seeing people say, people need to have, listen to this, mercy and grace on Shannon. Anytime you hear someone say that or you read someone say that and it's a situation like this, that's a red indicator light that they don't know, first of all, the real difference between grace and mercy. But here's the most important thing. They don't understand how these two things work. And because I don't want you to do what Shannon did, and I'll explain what I mean by what he did in just a moment, but I don't want you to do that because you misunderstand those two things. But this is what I want you to do. Use your phone's calculator. Remember I was telling you that this problematic behavior goes all the way back to 1994? I want you to tally up how many years from 1994 to 2025 when he was exposed on a worldwide stage and embarrassed. And it's
okay. Sergeant, I heard he had 23 cases and 22 were settled. Sergeant, yeah, his shenanigans go back to 1994. And that's what we're talking about here. So there's nothing new to see here. But all he did in the past was what? Here's a check. And they were like, okay, we're good. Hello, family. How you doing, Brenda? We've been missing you too. Kelly, if you're still here, do you see the link I dropped, love? That was the link I just dropped. That was from I'll drop it again, the Saturday broadcast. Okay. Mr. X, he's been fired. No mercy for him. He has not learned. Mr. X, he just needs to wake up. You're that age and you're making these dumb mistakes. Yes, Trish, but he always wrote a check, just like R. Kelly before he finally was thrown in the slammer. For years, R. Kelly wrote checks. Here we go.
As soon as that sex tape comes out, he's going to be even more embarrassed. And that's just the stuff we know is coming. We don't know what the other folks are going to bring.
Yeah, don't forget. So this young lady is saying she has tapes. Other women, we don't know where this is going. This is going to wind up down the rabbit hole. So we'll see.
They're flying in on the vulture train. You see how many years that is? That right there is called mercy. Young folks, that is mercy. See, mercy is when we deserve a punishment. We deserve an exposure, but we don't get it. Mercy gives us time to fix and change ourselves.
That's true.
You see all the years he's had to get his stuff together? 1994 to 2025. That's mercy. Some people say, well, he should have been caught a long time ago. Well, he still had mercy. See, mercy covers. It covers us. And although, some people can want to debate about where mercy comes from. I'm a believer in God, so I'm just going to say it the way I believe it on my podcast. God is very long suffering. You see, you know that? You've heard that, right? The Bible says God is long suffering. But what is he doing while he's long suffering with us? Is he just sitting there watching us? No, he's extending mercy. See, he's covering us. What's the purpose? I'm going to be repetitive here. It's to give us time to change. Why is he giving us time to change? Because he loves us and he doesn't want us to be exposed and embarrassed. He doesn't want us to be stripped of all the money we've worked hard for. He doesn't want us exposed to our neighbors, our children. That's not what he wants. So he's long suffering. You see how many years that was? But let me tell you what often happens. This is what I meant by I don't want you to do what Shannon did. This is what we often do as human beings. We misinterpret what's happening. So let me give you an example. Let's say someone's had some toe-up behavior for 20 years. They will think to themselves, oh, I've just been getting away with it for so many years. And so they become more confident and more bold in that bad behavior. And so they keep going.
Is there anyone in the chat who would agree with it? And I love her perspective on this case. Instead of Shannon playing the victim. Now, Mr. X said she set him up. But Mr. X, as a 60-year-old man, again, you agree? Okay, Kelly, I do too, because she puts a spiritual, biblical spin on it. Sergeant said Puff 30 years, Shannon 30 years, R. Kelly 30 years, Bill Cosby 30, 40. Yeah, okay. We all have time. We're all given time to correct things, aren't we? Sometimes we don't. Chubbs, I have the perfect woman for Shannon. She can fight too, but loves them wigs. Call Tiffany. Woo! Tiffany's too old for him, Chubbs. Tiffany's what, 42 years old? He likes them young. Oh, Dr. Marilyn, I'll give you her name, and I did share this video. It's in the description box under my video. Oh yeah, I love her. I love her biblical take on it. It makes me reflect. So we all have to look in and say, hey, is there something I'm doing I should not be doing? Let's try to get it right? Dr. Marilyn, I'll give that to you though. Let me see.
See, they've misinterpreted the mercy. No, the time wasn't because you're so good or I'm so good at getting away with it and so sneaky about it. No, we were being covered by mercy. So don't do what Shannon did. You see, Shannon could have fixed himself at any time amongst all those years that you tallied up. But he chose not to because he did what most of us do. Oh, I keep getting away with it. But now here's something else that you need to know about this thing called mercy. Mercy has an end. Now, I want you to understand my comments in context. God's mercy never ends. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the mercy he extends to you and me in our bad behavior. That has an end. All paths have two things, a beginning and an end. I want you to think of the no outlet.
Dr. Marilyn, it's the MVMO channel. That's the name of it. And like I said, it's already up under my, it's in the description box, but the name of her channel, is MVMO. Okay, love? Sergeant, I'm waiting on the Hollywood tapes to be released. They're coming.
road or the dead end road. You get on the path, you get on the road, you drive, and see there's an end. That is how mercy is extended to us. But here's the thing that God doesn't tell us. None of us know how much time we got on that path called mercy before we get to the end.
Yeah.
For some people, it's 5 years, which we'll never understand that part until we get on the other side. For some people like Shannon, look how many years, 1994 to 2025. That's a long time. Choking, allegedly raping, beating up, time. But now it's come to its end. And it's very important that I say this because I don't want you to get the wrong understanding here.
Ever
All
since I
right, what are
started,
your thoughts, folks? Lisa said, no offense, sometimes brains and brawn are hard to find in the same person. And now him being a football player, hey, they need to check him for CTE, see if he has some brain damage. Because a lot of these football players, look at how violent they are on the field. And then you see a lot of them get caught up in violence off the field as well. Okay, Chubbs, thank you, dear. Enjoy your dinner. Thanks for dropping in. But do you listen at how this young lady, she talks? She needs to be doing audio books here on YouTube. Nice, soothing voice, nice biblical perspective. Oh, I love it. I think Dr. Marilyn, is that what you love too, sister? Because it's just nice. It's calming. And Kelly, are you still here, love? Sister Kelly, let me see if Kelly is still here. Kelly Ray, let me know, dear.
I don't have time to go into it, but just understand that God is not out to punish us. That's not what consequences are. Consequences actually are just a natural occurrence in nature. For instance, it rains, the ground gets soft. That's a natural occurrence of nature. When it rains, the ground is going to get soft. When we have terrible behavior because it has an end, everything has an end. Well, the end, if we haven't changed, the natural consequence or the natural progression is consequences. See, if God was out to get us, he wouldn't have given us time to change. He would have just plucked us over the head the first time we did it. See, don't get none of this stuff twisted. Please hear what I'm saying in context. Don't take it out of its context and get to talking about something else. See, if God was out to get Shannon, if God was this, merciless, puppet master, he wouldn't have had, how many years does your calculator show? From 1994 to 2025? He wouldn't have had all that.
So what are your thoughts, folks, on her take on this, her commentary? Dr. Marilyn, yes, and her message is confirmation for me. Okay, Kelly, did you see the link I dropped for you, sister? Kelly Ray? I dropped the link for you from Saturday because I want you to know who his partner in crime, Skip Bayless. A lot of people call him Skip Bayless, baseless. But yeah, they've been race hustling and race baiting on ESPN for years. Sergeant, we're living in free will, so I disagree. So the victims have to suffer all those years. Okay, Sergeant King. Okay. And the good thing about this channel, sometimes we have a difference of opinions, but we still love each other. Oh, I love it. So I'll play another maybe couple of minutes and then I'll go because I do have other clips to share with you. Okay, baby. Okay, just want to make sure you had it, sister. All right, let's go.
No, God loves us. But see, the reason God is giving us time is because he understands the natural process. It rains, ground gets soft. Bad behavior, you're going to come to an end. There's going to be terrible consequences. You may die. You may lose your family. If it were me, I may die. I may lose my family. He's trying to keep us from all of that.
All right. So, yeah, if you're enjoying her commentary, her take on this, and I like the way she's relating it so that we're all involved, right? This is not just share. This is all of us, right? So this is her channel. I've already subscribed. Yeah. Okay. This is her channel. So I had that to share with you, but I also I wanted to show you. Let me show you some of his race baiting. That's what I want to show. I will pull that up for you right now. This was, and again, and he always talked about my Cowboys, like I told you yesterday with Skip Bayless. I had hate for him already because he would trash my Cowboys. This guy, this bum, trash my Cowboys too. So I think, you know, I'm human. And the people who talk bad about my Dallas Cowboys, I spew venom because I'm not where I need to be all the way spiritually yet. Hey, we're all a work in progress. But yeah, Shannon has trashed my team. And so, well, you know, whatever. But yeah. He and Skip Bayless, who's supposed to be a Cowboy fan, he trashed my team too. Give me a break. All right, so we're done with that. Dr. Marilyn in trouble. What are you trying to tell me? Sergeant, yes, I'm a cowgirl. Be nice to me. I've experienced enough pain and hardships being a Cowboy fan. Be nice to me, please, sir. Please give me a break. I'm begging. My team has not won a Super Bowl since 1995. I need some mercy, some grace. Okay, look at this right here. I can show you so many clips. Lorraine, how you doing, dear? So the clear man can grape us 400 years. Shannon says he's going to put his hands around a clear woman's neck and he's the worst of the worst. Lorraine, I'm not saying he's the worst of the worst. I'm just sharing everything that's out right now. And every day there's something else. And Lorraine, be nice to me. I'm a Cowboy fan. I've experienced enough hardships and trauma in my life. Sergeant, you're a Saints fan. All right. Okay. Be nice to me, please. Dr. Marilyn's a Cowboy fan. Woohoo! Yeah, be nice to all Cowboy. God knows we've dealt with enough. Jerry Jones, God bless him. Dr. Marilyn, how was her message confirmation for you? Explain that to me, dear. I may have missed. Emmett, how you doing? Who that? Oh. So there's so much I can share with you. And let me just show you this video right here. Everything is racist. Everyone is racist towards these black athletes. Everything with Shannon and Skip. And again, we're talking about multimillionaires. These black athletes that they're talking about, oh, they're being mistreated. They're being discriminated against. They did that to them because they're black. Oh my God, cry me a river. Lorraine, I'm a San Francisco 49er fan. I can't sympathize with you, but good luck. Yeah, Lorraine, be nice to me. You've had more success than we've had. I'm over here. Talk me off the ledge, someone. I need a Super Bowl. Black Lisa, blackity, blackity, black. Yes. So listen to this. And then I hope Sister Kelly Ray is still listening, and this will give her a clue. This is what they've done for years. Now, again, I told you I don't care for Skip or Shannon, but it has nothing to do. It has to do with their race baiting and trashing the Cowboys. So that's just where I'm at with that. So I don't, with this other stuff they're doing, whatever. All right, listen to this.
On YouTube in today's video, I want to highlight some things that Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless went on.
So it's coming on here. Yeah, listen to this.
Jackson had made. I did a couple videos covering this already. You guys should go check it out. I'll have a full playlist down below if you want to.
You know, LeBron James supported Black Lives Matter. Sergeant King, I cannot stand Stephen A. Smith. He trashes the Cowboys too. Good watching you. Walking into the movies. My message is in the comments above. Trouble. Oh, okay. Mr. X, you're a Jets fan? Well, I don't need to complain because the Jets, oh my God. All right, listen to this.
I'm gonna go check out the videos.
Okay, hold on. So here's a little clip.
What do you think Phil is?
Listen to them.
How old? 77?
Can you tell Dum?
And they're always talking about race. White people are racist. Now, Skip, as you can see, is a white man. He's always screaming how racist the NBA, this coach is racist. The NFL is racist. He is a mess. Listen.
Politics has always been in sports. Ali. Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
Go back in history of the time. Politics have always been in sports. Jesse Owens.
You remember?
Now, this is about Shannon Sharpe. He and Skip. Oh, Phil Jackson was racist towards LeBron. LeBron James is a billionaire. Guy, give me a break. Topeka, how you doing? How about those Cowboys? I don't know. Check me in a few months. I'll let you know. Cleveland Browns fans, yes. Oh, my God. Bless you.
Or Phil, when he played basketball for the New York Knicks, you know what he was? He was an angry young man, anti-establishment.
Anti-war.
Yep.
Oh, but all of a sudden now, he's like, they're trying to, what do you say, trying to appeal to an audience? I don't know if you noticed this, Phil, but like 75, 80% of the NBA players,
I think he noticed.
That audience, they watch it. They didn't need to appeal to them.
Yes. I think black players carried Phil to all those rings, right?
But
Shannon Sharpe, I do know Phil Jackson. I covered him and observed him very closely in 1998.
That's right, James. And Shannon Sharpe's playing the victim, saying this is a shakedown. No, this is because you're stupid and you couldn't see that you were being played. And James, you're just coming in, love. Hit that like button. I'm sharing this because some people here don't know the history of Shannon Sharpe and his partner, Skip Bayless, race baiting and calling white people racist. And this is, they're doing this to the black players. Everything's racist, white supremacy, all of that. That's what they do.
During the Last Dance season in Chicago, he was known then as the Zen Master. I started in the Chicago Tribune calling him the Spin Master, because he was a lot of hypocritical hocus pocus.
Right.
Scottie Pippen wound up calling him a racist. They bought his BS, and it was a lot of BS, but it worked. And I've always said he was the greatest juggler of superstar egos I've ever seen. But the final irony of this was Michael quit playing basketball in 1998 because he so loved, he was so loyal to, he was so committed to Phil Jackson.
Right.
The whole MO of that year, the whole theme of the year as presented by Phil was they're pushing me out the back door in favor of Tim Floyd, some coach from Iowa State started calling him Pink Floyd after the 60s rock group. And yet that was not what was happening. Phil didn't want to continue after 1998 because he knew the cap was going to force them, because they were getting old and they were going to have to rebuild around Michael. And he didn't want to rebuild, and he made it clear to Ryan Storff and Jerry Krause, I just don't want to be here. I got it.
But it's funny how like the country, this great country of America was founded on protest. And seemingly everybody hates protest now.
Okay. Hypocritical hocus pocus.
Now, again, they were supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, which we know was a hoax. And that was a shakedown, taking money from people, and they didn't do anything but buy build mansions for themselves. But that's another story for another day.
There he is, personified, as they used to call him derisively, Big Chief Triangle.
Yeah.
All right, that's the end of.
Yes, James. Shannon Sharpe is country and not the sharpest knife in the drawer. He walked right in. James, that's what we're saying. James, he's crying, this is a shakedown. he was going to give her $10 million, and then her attorney said, no, we want 50. That's the only reason this came to light. James, you were not here. Shannon Sharpe's shenanigans go back to 1994, but he just always wrote some checks, and the people just went on their merry way. But he says, look at this. He even said the U.S. flag is racist. Watch him. Yeah, he is something. Listen to this. Is Shannon Sharpe. And he's a multimillionaire. He said the flag is racist.
Former Denver Broncos tight end Shannon Sharpe may have been good enough on the playing field to get enshrined in the pro football field, but it is beginning to look like he is not well suited for a job in the broadcast booth.
Now, of course, he did get the job, but he supported the Black Lives Matter movement. He supported the players kneeling during the national anthem. And he's always talking about how horrible America is, and racism and white supremacy. That's what he and Skip talk about all day long. How you doing, Tremaine Henderson? Always love your show and topic. #1 all-time Michael Joel. Okay, Chronicles. How you doing, WBBT TV? Okay, now we got Greg. How you doing? Ruby, you behave. Greg says BLM stands for Bill Luxurious Matches. Facts. Ruby said he should have had that girl sign a non-disclosure statement and left the cash on the dresser. Woo! All right, you're right. Let me stop sharing this. I can show you 1,000 clips. You don't have the time for me to share everything that he said is racist. Everything is racist. And anyone who did not support, look at this. It's always speaking about injustice and racism with Skip Bayless. Now, this happened, of course, during the George Floyd protest and Black Lives Matter, all that went with that charade. Right, James? If you look at sports, you know ESPN has been woke for years. That's why they're dying. They're nothing but propaganda. And Skip Bayless, as well as Shannon Sharpe, spew all of the woke ideology. Listen. Now, he and Skip are supposed to be talking about sports, but far too many times they were talking about injustice, white supremacy, and racism. And that's why ESPN is dying. People don't want to hear that crap. They would used to go to ESPN so they could get some news on their sports team. But this is, yes, Tina, yes, me too. All right, here we go. Listen to this crap. You know they're talking about this. That was the Kyle Rittenhouse, which they're trying to compare to, of course, this case with Carmelo Anthony, and it's not the same. But hey, this is what they do. James, no. That show was called Undisputed, and Shannon took over for Stephen Smith. The premise of the show was the same. Yeah, James, I'm just saying, you know, that him and Skip Bayless were together, the race baiters, the race hustlers. I don't know who, James. There are women out there that literally work these high-profile guys like welders working an oil pipeline. James, these men need to smarten up. James, maybe you can reach out to them and tell them, be careful. James, Shannon will say whatever he's told to say. Facts. No sound.
They signed up for. A lot of these guys work their entire lives to be.
He was talking about the players supporting. You can't hear the clip. Uh-oh. Let me try again. Sorry about that. I don't know. StreamYard's been having some issues. I had some issues with StreamYard on Saturday as well. Let's try this again. Hit that like button for me, please. All right. I'm going to play the clip. Please let me know if you can hear it. Now, this clip, again, those that don't know, Skip and Shannon Sharpe are supposed to be talking about sports. But too many times, they're up here talking about injustice and racism and Black Lives Matter. All right, let me try again.
Gathered is that the NBA players saying this is not business as usual. They said, although we appreciate taking down a few monuments, renaming a few schools, a few buildings, taking these Confederate generals' names off of military establishment, Skip. But right now, we need more substance than symbols. And while these symbolic gestures may placate some, it's not nearly enough. You see, Skip, they say, what's important to you? And we're starting to see these things that are important to you is becoming distracting from the greater view of things. It's because we went down here and we have Black Lives Matter t-shirt and how many more and say her name. And as we say her name, there's another name that needs to be added to the list. And there's another name that needs to be added to the list. And how many more? That's the question they keep asking. How many more? And they just watched Jake.
And remember, Black Lives, if you can see up under the clip of Shannon talking, they had Black Lives Matter on the basketball court. So, yeah, this is what they were spewing. And they wonder why people are like, nah, forget it. Thank you. I'm glad everyone can hear me now. Yeah, thank you for letting me know. I shared it and I thought you could hear and see it. StreamYard's been having some technical issues. That's the software that I use. Here we go.
Blake, 7 shots to the back. And then they watch someone come from another town with a long gun and gun down 2 people. Tried to surrender. And the police like, let him go. He going right on through.
You know, there he was talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. Right, James, spewing wokeness. Just spewing, right? You're right, James. That's ESPN. That's why they're part of the legacy media, and that's why they are dying. You see, they had to lay off a bunch of people. No one wants to hear all the crap that they're spewing. All right, here we go. Hit that like button. Hit that share button for me, please. Shay Shay is the personification of a dumb jock. Yes.
Yeah, trying to go arrest him. But Skip, see, when people see this, though, Skip, this is the problem that they have. They see a young Tamir Rice with a toy gun, and they see the police roll up on the scene, and in 12 seconds, he's dead. He's 12. And they see this young man here have the AR-15 running through the streets. He has on gloves, and they wait till the next morning to go arrest him. They're like, what? How? Yep. It is so, I am so proud of the NBA players, Skip. I'm so proud of them. But this is not what they signed up for. A lot of these guys work their entire lives to be in this position. We don't know if and when who will get back to the playoffs, Skip. This might be the one shining moment, and they were willing to sacrifice it. This is not a preseason, Skip. This is not an exhibition. They put a hold to the playoffs. They said, we're going to have a conversation. I'll get to LeBron in a minute. And it says, Skip, we put people in office. What the hell is Lindsey Graham and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer? What the hell are they there for? That's what we elected them for, is to deal with things like this. Yep. So athletes and people like myself that didn't go into politics don't have to deal with it. You're supposed to work for the constituents. But what I'm starting to see, Skip, when it comes to up to an election time, everybody wants to get the ball rolling. But you know, black people are not just dying in the streets when it comes to an election year. There's not just inequality in an election year. This goes on year round. But it seems to be you put this on the back burner, deal with your personal agendas, and then when election comes up, let's get it. Black Lives Matter. We need equality. Hell, we've been needing equality. Skip, this is not new. They make it seem like this 2020, and I get the pandemic, and I get that we haven't seen, you got to go back to 1918, the pandemic. But Skip, the inequality and the racial injustice, Skip, that's not new to 2020. But somehow these politicians think this just came about, and they don't seem to understand. But so now this is what the players need to do. And everybody say, okay, what's next? What's next? Well, I'm going to give you an idea of what's next. The players have a platform here. Now you have people that's been dealing with these issues for 40 and 50 years. I got to, the National Action Network, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, African American Policy Reform, the Advancement Project, things of those nature. You see, Skip, the NBA players are the computer, but a computer doesn't work without software. So let's merge the two together. Let's take the players and their platform and get some resources and give it to people that can advance the ball. That's what we need right now, because this is not enough. They say, we're done with this. This is not business as usual. And for LeBron James and the Lakers and Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers say, look, we're bounced. We're real about this. For the first time, Skip, you threatening. I heard George Hill. I was like, and I'm saying to myself, Skip, I said, I don't know if they really do that, Skip. I mean, they're already down there. But there are some players that say, yeah, we absolutely will. And LeBron James says, I want these owners to take more ownership of this. I get the statement with Black Lives Matter, and I get all this. But we want you to get those.
Thank you, Sergeant King. How many libraries, grocery stores, etc., has Shannon Sharpe opened? So they sit here on this platform, and James, I know what you're saying. I know this, of course, ESPN's owned by Disney, and there you go. But I'm just saying, he's up here acting like he's so concerned. And this is at the time, again, after the George Floyd riots, and LeBron James, they remember that defund the police. And I'm like, people, are you nuts? LeBron James doesn't even use a regular police. He has paid security. Someone like me, someone like anyone in the chat, we have to use the police. What do you mean defund the police? So, right, Sergeant King, instead of Shannon, since he's so concerned, you're a multimillionaire, sir. You could have taken that money and built up impoverished communities. But no, you'd rather give it to some, what is that she does? I forgot. Fans only model, whatever she does to make her money. So stop pretending like you're so concerned about impoverished communities, because you are not, sir. James said, well, you said it. He's acting right, James. That's all he's doing. I'll finish it up now.
Those contacts. Skip, you know, when you build these fancy arenas and how you go to the local and state level politicians and get things done, how the NFL, when they want to build these new fancy stadiums, how they go to the local politicians and state politicians and get these things done, these big dollar donors, that's what we want. You say you care about us. You say you care about these issues. Now we want you to put your money where your mouth is. We want to see no more lip service, no more symbols, substance.
So again, the Skip Bayless. I don't think I need to show you anymore. And Shannon, that's what they do, right? I mean, I don't need to show you anymore of that. But I did want to show you Monique. If I can find now Monique is a comedian, those that don't know, and her mouth is a little, yeah, okay. She does use profanity. Right, Lisa? Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Right. What did Kwame Brown say, Sergeant? James, these people are not thought leaders like a JFK or MLK. Why do we put so much into these people? James, because at one point in time, he ran up and down that football field with that ball. And you know, this is America. So let me see. And I told you they're accusing the NFL of being racist because Shedeur Sanders was not drafted until the 5th round. They're saying it was racism, and it was the NFL owners. It was collusion. Get along, gang. Right. Monique told him what to do. Now, I was trying to find one where she wasn't using all the profanity. Where are we here? Hold on one second. I think I can find that for you. Hit that like button, folks, as well as the subscribe button if you've been watching for a while. And now, as I'm looking for this short clip for you, Boost Mobile, DraftKings, all these sponsors are dropping Nightcap, all the sponsors, the people, the businesses and companies that sponsored Club Shay Shay, they are gone. So let me pull that up for you. Okay. How did this guy become so wealthy? Connie, he was a, what is it? Tight end for the Denver Broncos. So he made it big in the NFL initially. Then, like so many other NFL players, he then went into broadcasting. But initially, it was playing in the NFL. Let me see if I can I'll find that clip for you where Monique told him to get him an older woman. And he just sat there and laughed. No. The comedian Kat also warned him. He would not listen. Like I said, Monique, she uses some profanity. But she warned him, told him what to do. He was sitting there in the chair acting like he was a teenager. He's not laughing now. Topeka, Shay Shay and Monique. Yeah, Shay Shay said, get you an old woman, leave young women alone, dummy. Aunt gave an advice, take it or else. Okay, Topeka. Yeah, she did. Lisa, I couldn't find a clip because now I have to warn you. Now I can just share it in the description box. She used the word be, and Tina says Skip Bayless is the white version of Roland Martin. Yes, Skip Bayless is a white man, and he's always screaming about how black athletes are being discriminated against. Ruby said Shannon was drafted in the 7th round. The NFL was not so racist that he declined the contract. Boom. Boom. You're absolutely right. So type yes if you want to hear Monique, the comedian, if you want to hear her telling Shannon to get an older woman and he ignored her. I can just play it. I can mute it and you can read the captions. Whatever you want, that's what I will do. Type it in the comment section so I know what to do. But she warned him. What's his name? Cat. How ironic. 2 comedians, and God only knows how many other people warned him, and he would not listen. He just sat there and laughed. If you want me to play the clip, type yes in the comment section. Okay. I'll put the caption on too. Okay. All right. She told him to leave those young girls alone. All right. I only have a couple of people. Connie said yes. Lisa said yes. Topeka said play captions. All right. Here it is. Now she uses the word be. So. Okay. Here it is.
When you and I,
it's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
Are you trying to?
This was from his. She was a guest on his podcast, Club Shay Shay. Now listen to this.
Say, what you trying to say?
I'm looking right at you. I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at you. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me
tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get your old.
You hear what she said? She told him to take his old A home.
Bitch out there that can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, I need you want some money to go to Starbucks?
Yeah,
because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's gonna say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit. So he was doing, I was going to be scared. Come on, pick your glass up and clap for me. Come on now. These young gals will bite you. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, guess I got to come on home.
Come on home.
What did you think about that, folks? She was laughing, but she told him to leave those young girls alone. You said you want to play the cartoon? Oh my God, that thing is hilarious. Let me stop sharing. You're talking about the cartoon with Monique. Woo! It is too funny. Which one was hysterical? Let me see what I can find here. That did pop up in my feed. So let me see if I can get that. If I can, I think I played it, but I didn't have the volume. Where's the cartoon? Which one? Sergeant, there's more than one. Right, Ruby? He was warned. Claymation. But you know there's more than one, right? Which one do you want me to play? I'll play it. Just which one? There is Monique. Okay. Oh, they've done a lot of claymation. Yeah, there's more than one. You're going to have to tell me which one. Type in the comment section. You don't know. Okay. There are several. All right, I'll play one. That claymation is funny. I pulled it up, so hold on. I try to provide you with what you ask for. So it's up on this. Is this what you wanted? Devil's disciples. Tina, what are Tina talking about? Florida said, yeah. Florida, what are you saying yes to, dear? Is this the right one? Someone type yes, and then I'll play it. Because there's more than one. So if this is the right one, I'll play it. I think this is the claymation that you wanted. Okay, Lisa said, all right. And you can see it. Okay, here it is. Here you go.
Let me tell you what my baby need. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon need. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. I know. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get your old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. Damn, boy. When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, I need you want some money to go to Starbucks? Yeah, because I can't go no further. If you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's going to say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter because that's going to get your energy back up. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
So I think that's what you want. Is that what you wanted? And she was being so nice. Just if he had listened. What are your thoughts on that, folks? And I only had one more, I think, to share with you. And this was on the, again, another accuser. I'll share that with you, and then we're going to get out of here. That was funny. Yeah, Monique is, yeah, she's fun. That was funny. Sergeant, I hope you're happy. I tried to accommodate you. All right, so here's another. This is on the second accuser. Let's see what they're saying here.
Well, black and white sports fans, let's talk about Shannon Sharpe. His fall, man, has been epic. It's been fast. Now, Shannon Sharpe says that he was the one that was actually going to be leaving ESPN. He made you think that it was actually his decision, and I don't believe for 1 second.
Yeah, now yeah, I know what I heard. No problem, Sergeant. I'm here for you. Yeah, we know, we hear it all the time. I'm leaving or I'm resigning. You were forced to, sir or ma'am. We've seen it. Each of us in our professions, I've seen it, where teachers have done things they were not supposed to do. You're called into the principal's office, the superintendent's involved, you resign, or you're going to be terminated. We know how this operates, folks. Here you go.
That this was the call of Shannon Sharpe to actually leave ESPN. Now he's talking about, hey, I'm going to be back for the NFL preseason. I don't think so. I don't think there's anywhere in the world you're actually going to see Shannon Sharpe on the airwaves of ESPN again.
No.
This man is finished at ESPN. And pretty much, guys, Stephen A. Smith is the one that confirmed that, okay? Now, of course, Stephen A. Smith has his own show. And something that he said, guys, pretty much proves that Shannon Sharpe is lying to you when he says he's stepping away. No, ESPN forced this man out.
Yep.
Also, we got more allegations, folks, against Shannon Sharpe with different women. Shannon Sharpe, man, all of the skeletons, man, are coming out the closet. Now, I'm not accusing Shannon Sharpe of doing anything criminal, but there's no doubt about it, guys, that Shannon Sharpe put himself into this situation. And it is a very, very bad look. Shannon Sharpe is almost 60, man. He is 56 years old. And this man has put himself in very, very bad positions to where he's actually lost his job on ESPN. Now, to him, it probably ain't that big of a deal. Okay. Of course, he still has Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, all that other stuff. Financially, Shannon Sharpe is going to be okay until he actually probably has to make a payout. Okay. But
for those that don't know, again, he made millions as a tight end for the Denver Broncos when he retired from football. He then went into broadcasting. And for those that don't know, he receives a pension from the NFL that if you're not familiar with this, I forgot who was that. I think I found out during the OJ trial. Remember when the Goldman family and the Cole Brown's family, when of course OJ was saying he didn't have any money. He was lying, of course, but they were trying to go after his pension. They were not allowed to. So Shannon was played in the NFL long enough to have a pension, and we know that can't be touched. So he'll still have money. I just wanted to throw that out there for people who don't understand. But like I said, I said the same thing about OJ. Or anyone. None of us gets away with anything. Before you leave here, you will see it. There is a God in heaven. None of us gets away. So all the people that think OJ got, no, he didn't. He didn't get away with anything. In our eyes, it looks like he did. He did not. All right, here we go.
Anyway, let's go ahead, guys, and get into this.
Want to try Ozempic?
So this is Tirzepatide.
All right, these awful commercials. Here we go.
Headline. Stephen A. Smith says, no way Disney could let Shannon Sharpe stay on ESPN amid rape case revelations. Yeah, so right down here now, Stephen A. Smith actually mentioned this on Friday. And Shannon Sharpe is calling this whole thing a shakedown. But Stephen A. Smith says he's not surprised that ESPN let Shannon Sharpe go. Look here, it says, quote, they didn't need any definitive evidence at this particular moment in time about all of that stuff. Once all the things Shannon Sharpe's lawyer put out there, Smith said bluntly Friday on how it all went down this week. An audio of Sharpe threatening, quote, to fucking choke the shit out of you to Jane Doe. No, she's not a Jane Doe. We know it's look at that's the name.
And those of you again who are just joining the chat, yes, Tina, leave the left-wing lunatics out of sports. Hey, I've played 2 or 3 clips already, so you might have to go back just a bit, but hit that like button for me, please. It is greatly appreciated. Okay, so we're going to play this and then we're done. But yeah, there are other people, and they're saying the same thing that this one girl, young lady, is saying. All right.
But quote, it was uncomfortable to listen to, and it was not something that Walt Disney wants associated with his brand. So to have him on the airwaves while all of that stuff was put out, that was not something that Disney was going to take. That is what I mean when I say I'm not surprised. Yeah. So Shannon Sharpe, it wasn't his decision to actually walk away. This was Walt Disney's call. The suits at ESPN and Disney. However, guys, look over here. This came out too now. Shannon Sharpe accused of choking female production assistant.
And again, those of you who are just joining the chat, this has been going on since 1994. Now, prior to social media, obviously, since it started in 94, all he had to do was write a check. Okay, goodbye. That was the end of the suit. And then a lot of things never came to light until now because, well, he just wrote a check. And he was going to write her a $10 million check, and her lawyer said, wait a minute, no, we're going to ask for 50. That's the only reason we found out about this, but he was just getting ready to sign a contract for $100 million.
At Fox Sports prior to $50 million rape lawsuit. Now, in this case also, Shannon Sharpe says he didn't do nothing wrong, but Fox paid off this person. Yeah.
Fox needs to be held accountable too for their indiscretions as well, folks, paying people off. And again, you know, if you've been keeping up with the news, Skip Bayless, he was involved in some type of sexual misconduct. So I don't know what's going on over there at Fox Sports, but they need to get it together.
Look here. Shannon Sharpe allegedly choked a female production assistant at Fox Sports 1 years before he was accused of rape in a bombshell $50 million lawsuit. The NFL legend was accused of physically assaulting the employee in the workplace during his time co-hosting Undisputed with Skip Bayless between 2016 and 2023. Two insiders claim to Front Office Sports Thursday. According to one source, Sharpe and Fox allegedly settled with the accuser for several $100,000. No lawsuit was filed regarding the alleged incident, and apparently nobody actually heard about this thing. Yeah. However, a representative for the ESPN personality 56 denied the allegations in a statement to the outlet. Quote, there was no incident of choking involving Shannon on the FS1 set, the spokesperson claimed. On one occasion, he and a few colleagues were involved in some light physical interaction in a playful context. Fox Sports later chose to resolve the matter privately.
So this has been ongoing, and I don't need to play the entire video. I've already shared this in the description box. But I did want to sing a little song for you. How many of you remember the 1987 song by Stevie Wonder, Skeletons? Now, I know I'm dating myself. Telling you how old I am. Anyone remember that song? Cat Williams, hey, I don't like him as a comedian, but he's been doing nothing but telling us truth. He told us about a lot of this Diddy stuff and all this other stuff. Cat Williams speaks truth. Anyone that remembers the 1987 song by Stevie Wonder, Skeletons, please type yes in the comment section. Because that's what this reminds me of. Everything is now coming out. Even the people, of course, who knows? Some of the people that were paid off, they may try to come back and get more money. But Tina, you remember that? Skeletons in your closet, itching to come outside, messing with your conscience in a way your face can't hide. What did your mama tell you about lies? And you remember that? She said it wasn't polite to tell a white one. What did your daddy tell you about lies? How many people remember that? Come on now. I'm not the only old person here. He said one white one turns into a black one. It's getting ready to blow. It's getting ready to show. Remember that? Somebody shot off at the mouth and we're getting ready to know. It's getting ready to drop. It's getting ready to shock. Somebody done turned up the heater and It's getting ready to pop. How many people remember that song? Just Tina. Tina, are we the only old stogies here today? Wow. Just every day there's something coming out about this situation. Tina, she's speaking 100% truth. Tina, you remember that song? There's no one else here that remembers that song by Stevie Wonder. I wish I could play it here. It's getting ready to blow. It's getting ready to show. It's getting ready to seep. It's getting ready to freak. Somebody done picked up the talk box. They're getting ready to speak. That was 1987. Look it up. Stevie Wonder. It's getting ready to jive. It's getting ready to gel. Somebody done let the lid off and it's getting ready to smell. Woo! We're getting ready to ill. Somebody dropped the big dime and they're getting ready to squeal. Yeah. Stevie Wonder, that song, oh my God. This song, perfect for what's going on now. 1987, Stevie Wonder. Yes. Well, that's all I have for you. Check that out. How many people enjoyed this live stream? And another one of my favorite songs. I think everyone knows who my favorite rock group is. My favorite rock group is the Rolling Stones. I've been to see them in concert. I've gone to London to purchase Rolling Stone memorabilia. Another song, Shannon Needs an Emotional Rescue. One of my all-time favorite Rolling Stone songs from 1980. I know I'm dating myself. Tina, are you still with me? Tina can attest to this. Is there nothing I can say? Nothing I can do? Change your mind. I'm so in love with you. Too deep, baby. You can't get out. You're just a poor girl in a rich man's house. Not for long. Yes. I was dreaming last night. Last night. I was dreaming that you'd be mine. But I was crying. Oh my God. Check it out. How's everyone doing today? How did you like that live stream? And it's one of my favorite Rolling Stone videos. OMG. Of course, I can't play it here, but anyway. We're going to get out of here now. We are done. I don't know. I have to go back to work tomorrow, so I do not know when I will be live again. I don't know. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just depends on what transpires. Tina said, I love it. Yes, Tina, stick with me now because everyone else is young here. So anyway, I'm done. And I enjoyed each of you. And you know where I'm going next. To the comment section, and I'll talk to you as long as you are there. Thank you so much, Tina. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy your week. Like I said, it just depends on what happens. I don't know when I'll be live again, but I will be live. Now I'm going to go and respond to your comments in the comment section. And hey, I'll see you in the comment section right now.